Okay, welcome back to my channel. This is just a quick read for Gemini, just current energy check-in. So what I see here is you're currently focusing on your money. It's more of a slow, conforming kind of way of dealing with things. There's a need for you to implement more structure. I feel like you're doing a lot of reflection back and forth here right now in a place where you may not be doing your most productive emotional work. With the Hanged Man, there is a suggestion that you do need to step back in this situation and take a look at things and make some changes there. But it feels like there's almost a sense of jealousy or too much competition. Either you're, projecting this outward or someone is projecting this on you. But either way, there's a sense of feeling like you're thwarted in some way. Emotionally, you may not be dealing with things in the most effective way. Like I said, this seems to be a lot of energy that keeps going back to the past, and it's almost like you need to change your mode of thinking and able to kind of release yourself from this energetic sucker, really, because you've got the Eight of Swords, so you're really, as well as the Three of Swords, so there's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of even harsh words maybe coming up, there's some kind of inner turmoil for sure going on. But again, it's almost like you need to step back from the situation to be able to move forward, but you're not doing it as effectively as you could be. But part of the solution will be in going forward that you need to implement more structure and adhere to that, and try to get a hold of your thoughts here, because it seems like as you go back into the past, you need to almost personally confront your own fears and the things that you have around something from the past that just keeps coming back into your mindset. So you're not dealing with it by just going through it and mulling the same situation, the same thoughts over and over and over, which does seem to be where you're at. You have to confront the fears by taking a look at how you can actually accept them and resolve a situation. So instead of trying to personalize it and attack another or attack yourself, or try to find some way of you're in a healing place here, of course, with the Temperance card. But again, there's a lot of emotional setback here. But like I said, I do, and these just were the cards that I pulled that kind of fell out afterwards. So you are still going to be moving forward here, but it's kind of a 2 steps forward, another step back, that kind of energy, kind of an in and out sort of feel here. But it looks like, as I said, overall, that you need to really take a look at the power of your thoughts is really what's holding you back. So I feel that you would be more productive to either sidetrack yourself away from some of this energy to kind of cool the jets a little bit, or certainly, you'll have more forward motion if you find a way to accept what is, and then you'll be able to open your mind up to whatever opportunities are about to, go forward, because you do have that Three of Wands energy. So there is something, that will be implemented here in the next short while. But again, you have to kind of separate yourself from your own thoughts, because they're triggering you. And there's a lot of, conflict in terms of communication is what I would say here as well, that you're currently dealing with. But it is something that's necessary to remove your thoughts and your ideas around an old way of thinking, and able to get past this pain, because it's almost like it's creating some kind of a crisis for you. And again, it's stepping back from the situation, taking a look at it for, what it is, to quit trying to personalize it, and that should at least help to get you moving forward in some way, if you can start implementing some structure, some plans, to be able to release these old ideas and generate some new ones, that kind of thing. Like I said, the energies around you are more along the lines of things that are holding you back. So I would say that you really need to, get past some of these quarreling kind of energies by directing yourself into a place where the movement is more productive. Because again, there's energy around, harsh words and upsets, quarrels, that kind of thing with all of this energy. So there's a disappointment, and there's certainly some intense feelings here, absolutely. But again, it's more along the lines of you needing to release yourself from, what you think you're seeing and what really is. Because sometimes we feel cornered, but we put in our own 2 cents about what we think is really happening, and that's really not necessarily the case. There's too many unknown factors to be able to say for certain what causes a situation of conflict. So I would say, again, step back with the Hanged Man energy and really reassess, how you're going forward, rather than mulling over. That's not something that is, it's kind of, you know, because otherwise you're not feeling understood. Somebody else is not feeling understood, that kind of thing. Although most of this energy seems to be, could even be dealing with a younger person here as well, dealing with a child. That could also be relevant here. But there's sort of an end cycle where there's some success here in that situation. There's some success in that situation with perhaps even a child, but there is a direction here for you to take. And again, a lot of that energy seems to be around you still being stuck in a negative cycle of events or feeling trapped by your own thoughts. It's kind of a mental distress here. And again, there's a lashing out with the Swords energy verbally. So I would say that, you know, this is energy that you want to just rein back in, because it's you being stuck in a negative cycle. So whoever this resonates for, again, it's not going to, you know, be for everybody, but it certainly is for someone out there. And I do see, even with the Temperance, like I said, this is a card of balance and really finding your way through a situation. It does still indicate that you are going to create a certain level of calm. You might need to sort of mix and match some of your, you know, forward moving thoughts together, like I said, but it's almost that place of, you have to create a certain level of compromise or tolerance for something and able to find a moderate way. So again, that's where you'll find your balance, is to be able to surrender to, you know, a situation, realizing that sometimes we can't have all our answers because it's too complicated or too convoluted to make sense of it. So all we can do is kind of work with the elements that we have and try to move forward based on those, you know, those, how do I say that? I don't want to say strong points or features, but those, you know, those areas where we do have some level of security and balance. Those are, because this is a moderate approach to things. So it's trying to find a way to find some harmony, focused attention, you know, and that only comes from being in a place where you're at harmony with yourself and your surroundings. So you don't want to get into this destructive pattern over here, because that just brings in devil energy and attracts more of the same. So again, that also is self-destructive energy here as well, which would also be, you know, put forward in an outward way, and that's where you're going to start to see more imbalance. So there's a call for you to balance this energy out. Again, there is an end cycle where there is some kind of success, could be in around, like I said, a younger person, doesn't have to be absolute child or someone from childhood, but it definitely relates to a path of money that is very slow to kind of you know, enact. It's not something that is going to be coming in all at one time. It seems like this is going to be efforts that are paying off over the course of time. So this is definitely energy around finishing things that you start. That's where this conclusive kind of energy comes about. This is where you are right now. And it definitely is hardworking, responsible energy. So I feel like you're kind of organizing things, putting things into more of a practical perspective. And again, there is a call for organization of these things so that you can actually, you know, feel like you've got some sense of control in your world here again. So that's where I'm going to leave it here. Again, it's setting financial goals here and sticking to them, releasing the past and the way that you were hoping that something would be, but it's just adjusting, you know, and finding a more flexible route to undertake a forward movement. So again, Hangman energy is take a look, step back, you know, figure out, you know, change your perspective and try to see maybe something from another scenario. You know, try to understand this from someone else's point of view, or try to understand this from another perspective so that you can actually release some of this unnecessary, I shouldn't say unnecessary, I mean some conflict can be necessary, but I just feel like you need to have some structure and this is causing chaos for you. This is not allowing for a lot of structure. It's almost like a tear down of the structure that you are trying to implement here. So again, you just want to be really mindful of that, because that Hangman energy tells me that this is where the balance has to come in here. It's going to be in around the area of the heart. It's going to be in around, you know, taking some distance and, you know, from yourself or from others, but it seems to be more yourself at this time. And again, just trying to find a way to shift, like I said, because there is a sense that you're too rigid with your mental thoughts. You're too rigid in what you think should happen. You are feeling stuck because of this energy. And I think if you were able to develop a more of a adjust your point of view in some way here, I feel like you're not going to be feeling like a victim here. So that'll help you to release some of this energy. Again, creating some structure, moving it slowly forward, forward, forward. Shifting the perspective seems to be around a child or in around something from the past here, but it is something that's really, you know, holding you back in some way. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. It's just current energy for you, Gemini, and just take what resonates and leave the rest. Have a great day.